Week 12 has ended, which means it's time for the A&A show featuring Andrew Santangelo
and Austin Paul.
We'll recap the Week 12 NFL scores and break down multiple games, along with our Week 13 picks to end the show. Started off, we'll read the scores with the Lions beating the Vikings 16-13, the Cowboys over the Redskins, the Steelers over the Colts, the Falcons over the Cardinals, the Ravens over the Bengals, the Bills defeat the Jaguars, the Titans beat the Bears, Giants beat the Browns, Chargers over the Texans, Dolphins over the 49ers, Saints over the Rams, Buccaneers upset the Seahawks, the Patriots over the Jets, the Raiders come back to beat the Panthers, the Chiefs over the Broncos, and the Packers over the Eagles in the Monday night game. Start off the show, we'll talk about the Cowboys game as they beat the Redskins 31-26 on Thanksgiving, which I thought was one of the better games on Thanksgiving. I mean, actually, the first two were pretty good, and then the nightcap wasn't as good. But, I mean, to me, it was what you've been seeing from the Cowboys all season with Prescott. I mean, only had 195 yards, so as far as stats go, it wasn't his most impressive game. But, I mean, Prescott looked good. Elliott continued to look good with 2 more touchdowns. Got multiple receivers involved. So, I mean, to me, it was what the Cowboys been doing all year.
Yeah, I mean the offensive scheme, is going to stay the same, 10-1. I mean, can't get away with what they're doing right now. I mean, it's having a lot of success against a lot of, defenses. I mean, decent defenses too. I mean, the Packers were good at the time. Ravens had a really good defense, or statistically one of the best run defenses. So I mean, they're just rolling. They're getting a lot of people involved. I mean, not this game. Only 6 receivers caught a pass, but whenever you're running the ball with so much success, you can't really get away from that. So I mean, Cowboys just played their game plan. They've done what they've done all year. Control the clock. Well, not really control the clock. The same thing. They're down 33-27. But I mean, they kept their defense off the field. Defense made plays when they needed to. They helped give the Cowboys 17-6 lead going to halftime. Shut them out in 2 quarters, the first and third. So the defense looked pretty good. It was just a lot of people getting involved. Just based on what the Cowboys have done all season. Just spread the wealth. Not really focus on one guy. So Cowboys. They just outplayed the Redskins. The Redskins, almost were able to come back in the fourth, but Cowboys were able to shut them out at the end. So that was good to see. It was just an overall really good game for both teams. Both teams easily could have won the game at the very end, I think. That's why the Cowboys won. They were just able to do what they needed to do to win. But the one downside to the Cowboys is their defense, obviously, and especially the third down defense. This game, Redskins converted 8 out of 15 third down attempts. So that was pretty sad to see. But it's whatever. It's going to happen. But I just feel like all year now, like every game I've watched, Cowboys have been really struggling with third down defense. I don't know if you noticed that same thing, Andrew, but I just noticed it a lot throughout the year. Struggling on that, and also the total net yards. Redskins had 505. Cowboys only had 353, and that just shows you what controlling the clock does for an offense. You see Redskins had 150 more yards, but Cowboys won the game. So it's just things like that is why Cowboys are 10-1 at this point in the season.
Yeah, going off your defensive point, I think we're outside the third down. You've been struggling, like you said. I think what in this game they showed was the secondary was. Redskins had a lot of deep plays. Like, you look at the stats and, all the receivers' longest catches, 67, 33, 38, 26, 27. So you guys are giving up the deep ball a lot throughout the game. So, I know Deshaun Jackson, that's what he's known for, a deep ball threat. But he has 4 catches for 118 yards, so you know that that's the main part of their game. And that's what I think one of the weaker parts of the Cowboys' defense is.
Especially with the injuries that we have. Morris Claiborne's hurt. Barry Church said he's supposed to come back this week. I think that he's practicing, so hopefully he'll play against the Vikings. Brandon Carter's getting up there in age. You still have a rookie out there, Anthony Brown. He's got some snaps. That was one where Deshaun Jackson beat him deep. I think it might have been just a blown coverage, but I'm not really sure what happened on that. Just Multiple things in the secondary is what hurt the Cowboys this game. With the deep balls, obviously.
Yeah, and then just going off the Redskins, I mean, no run game this game. 37 yards, 17 yards were your two running back totals. So, I mean, big area of struggling there. Kirk Cousins throws 53 passes. So, obviously, the game plan going into the game was to throw the ball. I mean, 53 passes is a lot for one game. So, I think, it's going forward for the Redskins. I mean, they have the last playoff spot right now. So, if they want to be anything successful in the playoffs, they're going to have to get the run game more involved. And, I mean, whole teams to less than 30.
Yeah, and also, sorry, go on. I was going to say the kicking modes that they had. I mean, they missed 2 out of 4 field goals this game, so I mean that was pretty costly to them in the first half. They missed 2 of them. I mean, in Dustin Hopkins' defense, I mean, this sounds like right in his eyes on like 55-yarder. I mean, 55 yards is already hard enough, but I mean, like with the sun in your face, you can't really even see the goalpost. Pretty difficult for any kicker in the league. So I mean, that also hurt them there in the first halves, and I mean, it helped out the Cowboys, but but stuff like that is what hurt the Redskins this game.
I mean, lose by 5, you hit those 2 field goals. I mean, I know the game would be different. I mean, the way it plays out, but points-wise, you win the game.
Yeah.
You make those 2.
Yeah, and also the red zone defense by the Cowboys is really good this game. They only 2 touchdowns and 5 attempts for the Redskins, so I mean that was pretty big for them throughout the game, just to hold them to field goals in the red zone never mattered the most. And I mean that was pretty big, pretty big effort by the defense to help out in that way.
Yeah, and then another thing was Cowboys have another thing I noticed this season, they limit the penalties, and I think that's what has helped their success. They only had 3 in this game, so I think good teams are disciplined and won't commit the penalties, and we saw it in this game too.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of penalties come from the offensive line. The Cowboys having such a good offensive line, they're all they're all smart. They all know what to do, not get a penalty, and obviously that's really helping them out.
Yeah, obviously best offensive line, but penalties can come from all over. So I think, especially with their weaker spot being the defense, for them not to commit penalties and still be doing this successful, that's big for them. Just going forward, confidence, motivation, everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big key where you don't see the penalties is the defense, just because that's the weaker unit. Because if you do get a flag on the offensive line, as frustrating as that is, it's like you know how good they are, so they can bounce back from that easy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point what you just made. Offensive line, they're going to bounce back just because Cowboys do have a good offensive line. And that's, really, obviously helping them out all year. So, 10-1 because of it, I would say. Honestly, offensive line is the MVP of the season. Cowboys' offensive line is, and well, in my opinion. But, obviously they're not going to give it to an entire offensive line. So.
Yeah, I think you guys clearly built your team around the offensive line, and that's what's helped Prescott and Elliott be as successful as they are. And it especially eases them into the rookie season. So I think that's the major point of this season for the Cowboys.
Yeah, they played well for it. Obviously, past a few drafts, they won offensive line, and this year they won Ezekiel Elliott in the 4th overall pick. So they basically set themselves up for the success that they're having, in my opinion. But yeah.
No question. They got obviously a bright future. The offensive line's pretty young.
Yeah.
Obviously, 2 rookies means they're young. And then, even Des Bryant's got a lot left. The only thing in the future they'll have to replace is tight end, because who knows how long Witten has left.
Yeah. But the one bad thing about the offensive line is, they're all going to be winning a lot of money whenever that time comes for them. And so I'm going to be curious to see what Jerry Jones does with that and what route he takes. Hopefully, honestly, best case scenario is that they all stay, which, it might be pretty difficult because I think they're all going to, win a large chunk of money. And, I just don't know what's going to happen with that in, a couple of years.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think they'll have the money to keep everybody, assuming they want to keep other guys on the team, especially knowing where you're going to have to lock up Prescott and Elliott, assuming they continue the success at some point in the near future.
So if the Cowboys, do struggle in a few years, it's going to be because of that. It's the money situation. Because most of their team, pretty young, good young players. Even Byron Jones on the defense, he's going to want some money. He's played pretty solid for them, first 2 seasons in the league. So that's just like the one thing I'm kind of scared about as a Cowboys fan. Is it's to see what happens a couple years with all that. And it's gonna be really interesting to see what Jerry Jones does with that. And, I just hope he makes the right decisions, and hopefully, they all, basic scenario, they all take a pay cut just to stay with each other, and maybe win a couple Super Bowls. But it's all just a wait and see approach at that.
Yeah, I don't know what it's looking like, but I don't know if they're all free agents at the same time.
Yeah, they weren't all drafted in the same year, so it's gonna be a year apart, I think, for most of them.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, and then also Doug Freeze, I want to say 33, so he's getting up there in age. So he's gonna retire at some point. Going back to the game, it was just a really good game, really hard fought game. Either team could have won this game, in my opinion. It was just a couple mental errors. That's pretty much it. But what really helped the rest of this game was the return of Jordan Reed. Did you see the injury that he had? Right on his shoulder in the end zone. It looked pretty nasty. So I figured he was get me out of game, get me out the rest of the game, maybe a couple more games of that. But he came back second half, scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So that was really, really big for him. Obviously they didn't help him in the game, but put them in great position too. And so I don't know if he's going to play in the upcoming week. He has what was the injury diagnosed? It was I don't know exactly what it said. I think it might have been hairline fracture. I don't know if that's serious, but probably a little bit sore still. But it's going to be waiting to see what happens with that. They got a tough game against the Cardinals coming up. So, they're going to need as many weapons as they can get against them.
Yeah, obviously he's going to do his best to play on Sunday against the Cardinals, like you said. But just going over what you said, like you said, this was anybody's game. Especially I think the yardage shows it. You said earlier how many more yards the Redskins had than the Cowboys. I think that just shows how much it was anybody's game. And obviously losing Jordan Reed, like you said, that's a key loss. And the offense obviously couldn't succeed without him until he came back in that fourth quarter to get those touchdowns and the yardage. So.
Yeah. I think we're gonna move on to the Seahawks Buccaneers game. Buccaneers played a really good game. They won 14-5 off 2 touchdowns in the first 2 possessions for the Bucs by Mike Evans. So that was pretty big. And also their defense really played good this game. Obviously that was the reason they won. They only had 5 points. One of them, I think Seahawks got a safety though. But other than that, they only gave up 3 points on the defensive side. So really impressive game by the Bucs. 6-5. They're only 1 game behind the Falcons right now for first place in that division. So it's going to be really interesting. A really good down the stretch competition between them, between the Bucs and the Falcons, and maybe even the Saints.
Yeah, the big thing in this game was how much they contained Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You saw him. You saw him against the Eagles a week ago. How much he looked healthier and stuff, and he was scrambling like the old Russell Wilson. And in this game, they managed to keep him inside the pocket. He was 17 for 33 for only 150 yards, and then he had 8 rushes for 80 yards. So those are probably designed. Most of them were designed runs, but
go on. Sorry.
The way that was the most impressive thing for me. Seahawks defense is one of the best too. So they held Buccaneers to 2 touchdowns. So that was normal to me. So the fact that they were able to hold the Seahawks to 5 points was just impressive.
Yeah, and it's also kind of crazy. It was defense kind of flip flop. Russell Wilson was sacked 6 times, and James Winston wasn't sacked at all. And so obviously the Bucs got pressure. While surprises Seattle did not get any pressure on James Winston. It seemed like, and that clearly helped out Jameis Winston in the first quarter, throwing 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, going off the sack thing, we've said it a couple times this year. I remember. The Seahawks offensive line has been a big issue, and I think that's the most important thing. Is Thomas Rawls and I know they just cut Michael, but the other guy, blanking on his name, Prosy.
C.J. Prosy.
Yeah, I know he's hurt, but they both show potential. So if they just get a lineman or 2 that can build, and they can get the run game back to where it used to be. Obviously not. They don't have Marshawn Lynch anymore, but give him a line, you can see what happens, and then just give Russell Wilson time. Because, I mean, he has the ability to scramble. He needs time to be able to even look down the field.
Do you still think that they're better than the Cowboys, though, in the NFC? Like, are they still your favorite?
I mean, I would still pick them to be my favorite, yes, just because I still give the defense. I mean, I still give them the defensive margin is a lot better than the Cowboys. I mean, you didn't see anybody struggling on the defensive point. They had a couple turnovers. Only gave up 2 touchdowns. Yeah, the offense has struggled, but I mean, it's one game. Everyone's gonna struggle at some points. It's a road game. You have to travel to the East Coast. I mean, to me, it's just one game. I mean, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a big game though. I mean, I still think they're gonna win division because I think next closest Cardinals are like 4-6 now,
Yeah.
like 4-6-1 I think. So I mean, I don't see them catching up to the Seahawks. So I mean, yeah, I picked them to win that division, but I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I don't know if I'm that scared to play the Seahawks right now, just because you know their offense can be inconsistent at times, and I mean I know the Cowboys defense isn't top notch, but I mean if the offense controls the clock as like what they've done all year, keep Seattle's offense off the field, Dallas defense off the field, it could be good for the Cowboys. But I mean, a lot can happen between that and the playoffs, or between this week and the playoffs. So, I mean, still ways to go. Injuries probably gonna happen at some point, and so I mean, I'm just curious to see what happens with the Seahawks, see if they can bounce back from this, bounce back from this difficult game. But I mean, can you see the Buccaneers passing the Falcons to make the playoffs?
I don't see them winning the division, but I could see them passing the Redskins in the wild card. Because the Redskins have the last wild card spot, and they're 6-4-1.
Yeah.
So I think I would give the Buccaneers a good shot to pass the Redskins. But I like the Falcons. I think the Falcons are as good, or not as. I mean, they struggled of late because they got off that hot start, and that's where they have been now. But I mean, I would still consider Atlanta the favorite as the only game up. I mean, with what is there 5 games left?
Yeah.
So
no, 4.
5.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5.
There's 5 games left. I mean, Falcons have Chiefs, Rams, 49ers, Panthers, and Saints. So they have a lot of division games in there. Tough game against the Chiefs. So actually, I mean, look at the schedule. I would say they lose. I give them 2 losses. So I would say Falcons finish at like 10-6 on the season.
But the thing for the Buccaneers, I mean, they play the Chargers and the Saints, Cowboys, Saints, and Panthers. So I mean, they have some pretty tough games coming up. I mean, 2 against the Saints. Chargers have been looking pretty good lately, and obviously the Cowboys on the road. And then the Panthers, last game of the season, they struggled all year. So, I mean, that could be a toss-up at this point. So, I mean,
just looking at the schedule, I would too. I give Tampa Bay 2 wins. So, Tampa Bay finishes at 8-8 on the year. So yeah, I'd stick with the Falcons.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing for the Buccaneers is Doug Martin looked pretty good this game. Still trying to get back to 100% from that injury at the beginning of the year. 87 yards in this game. Played pretty good against tough run defense. So I mean, that was pretty good for Buck fans to see. And I mean, that can really help him down the road, I think.
That's the thing with Doug Martin. I think he's always. I've never questioned his talent. It's just whether he can stay on the field or not. I mean, he just gets hurt all the time. You saw earlier in the year. It's like you said, if he can get back to his health. I mean, Tampa Bay has the offense. It's just the question is how much can the defense give him. I mean, you see the defense being consistent. I mean, I'm not a huge Winston fan, but I know he has talent. So, quarterback's there, running back's there with Martin if he's healthy. Then you have a top receiver in Evans. So, a couple things you're missing probably just a solid. I mean, even their tight end Cameron Brate has played well for the most part. So, I mean, they have pieces on the offensive end. It's just a matter of how well can the defense come out, and then can the offense stay consistent enough.
I mean, yeah, and that's obviously the big question for the Bucs is the health, like what you were saying. So I mean, if they can stay healthy, I think that they can make the playoffs, maybe make a run. For a wild card, but it's going to be very difficult looking at their schedule. 2 games against Saints, Cowboys, Chargers, and the Panthers. I mean, you never know. They could, pull something out of their hat, and I mean, win the next 5 games, which I mean is obviously going to be very difficult. But I mean they have the offensive the firepower to to compete, but it's going to come down to health, I think, for them, because Mike Evans has also been kind of banged up the past couple seasons, so that's also tampered his playing time.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing they can control is their play on the field. I mean, injuries will happen, but you can't really prevent any injuries. It's just a matter how they happen on the field. And then, I mean, you see him 7th seed in the wild card right now, half game behind the Redskins, 2 games behind the Giants. So, I mean, like I said, for me, they're more likely to win the wild card spot than the division. But, I mean, that actually be an interesting first round matchup: Lions Buccaneers.
I mean, that should be a pretty good one. But yeah, but I mean, Seahawks. We'll go back to them a little bit. I mean, their running game is really struggling. I think Thomas Rawls. I doubt he's at 100% at this point. It's only his second week back. He 12 carries, 38 yards, and I mean, their offensive line clearly not working like what we said earlier, and then that's also hurting them. So. I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see if they can turn it around or bounce back after this game. But I mean, they have the weapons too. Jimmy Graham's really starting to come around. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him. He's played great this year. Hasn't been injured. Hopefully he can stay healthy all year. And Doug Baldwin also played good. But I mean, outside of that, there's 4 other receivers and they each only caught one pass. So I mean, I feel like. Russell Wilson may not be looking at other people besides Graham and Baldwin, and I mean that might hurt him down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the receiving core is there for Seattle. I mean, I think Russell Wilson creates the plays and finds, like when he scrambles, that's when they find Doug Baldwin open or whatever. I mean, Jimmy Graham's the best player on that offense outside of Wilson. He's finally coming back from the injury, or not finally. He came back from the injury this year. He looks healthy. I mean, we saw with the Saints, he's always a top target. And then they got Doug Baldwin, but outside of that, I think they need some receiver help. And I mean, to me, that's probably the 2 main areas I would work on in the offseason for them is offensive line and wide receivers. Because like I said before, I think the potential of the running backs is there. It's just a matter if the line can perform for them.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's all going to be, a matter of time. See what happens with that. See if they can get better. But I mean, we still have 5 weeks left. Playoffs are right around the corner. So I mean, they really need to fix it fast if they do. So.
Yeah, I think we'll move on to the Kansas City Denver game, where the Chiefs beat the Broncos 30-27 on Sunday Night Football. A huge division matchup. To stay close to the Raiders as the Broncos lost. So they fall 2 games behind the Raiders in the division as the Chiefs stay 1 game behind the Oakland Raiders. To me, this was a weird game because in the first half, all you saw was defense. There was only 12 points combined in the first half, all 12 coming in the second quarter. And then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, it was like offensive explosions from the way the game was going. But it seemed like the Chiefs controlled the game for the most part, and then all of a sudden the Broncos took that lead.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs scored like a second left is what it was, and then got a 2-point conversion at the end of the fourth quarter to send it to overtime. So I mean, it was a really good game from both teams. Both teams obviously could have won the game. But I mean, it all came down to a field goal at the end by Carlos Santos off the upright and just bounced through the poles. So it was a really big win for the Chiefs. Really tough loss for the Broncos because they could have won this game. But I mean, Chiefs played really good. They obviously played a little bit better, so that's why they won. And sorry, go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say Trevor Siemian played really good though. This game, it was probably really good to see for Broncos fan perspective. 368 yards, obviously his career high, 3 touchdowns. So he played really good. He played well enough to win. Emmanuel Sanders, 162 yards, 7 catches, and a touchdown. and that was obviously really big for him. So I mean, it was really good. For Broncos fans to see Simeon do that good, even though they lost.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this. I'm blanking on his name, but the Broncos head coach,
Gary Kubiak,
his decision to kick that 62
Oh
yarder.
yeah.
I think that's the reason why the Chiefs win that game. I think in that situation, the announcers were saying the wind was a factor, or whatever. So I don't know why you're trying to kick a 62-yard field goal. I mean, you missed. You saw what happens. Puts them in that great field position. They only need about a little over 20 yards to get in field goal range. I mean, you punt the ball there. Chiefs. I don't think Chiefs had maybe one timeout left. They're most likely just going to end in a tie. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is he was just going for the win, obviously.
I understand going for the win, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel like, and then, I mean, that loss puts you out of a playoff spot. So obviously, it was a key play in that game. That was just the big thing for me. I mean, I was reading an article like both coaches made a lot of bad coach decisions on that game. I was reading on ESPN, but I mean the Chiefs defense. I mean, to me both these teams are known for their defense more than their offense. But I thought that was a fun battle between Von Miller and Houston there. It was just like both of them were just going right through the offensive line. Miller had 3 sacks. Houston had 3 sacks. Miller had 9 tackles. Houston had 10 tackles. That was a great defensive matchup between those two.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, two top defensive players in the league, Von Miller and Justin Houston. I mean, just really good battle between those two. Like you said, both had 3 sacks. I mean, that all obviously helped a lot. I mean, there were a lot of sacks in this game. 6 for the Broncos, and then 5 times for the Chiefs. So I mean, offensive line, both teams clearly struggled this game, but I mean that's kind of against a good defense, like what both of these teams have. So I mean that was pretty big, for both teams obviously. But I mean it was just a really good game. Chiefs offense I think is the only thing I'm scared of, or nervous for them, just because it's so inconsistent. I mean you saw this game. They scored 30 points against one of the top defenses in the league. And I mean, looking at their schedule, they only put up 14 against the Steelers. And I mean, their defense isn't all that great. 14 against the Colts, 30. Never mind, sorry. But only 19 against the Jaguars defense, 20 against the Panthers, only 17 against the Buccaneers. So I mean, if I was a Chiefs fan, I would be worried just because of their offensive inconsistency all year. But I mean, if you have a defense like what they have, it's going to put them in good positions to win. But it's all going to have to Alex Smith making plays whenever he needs to.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think the offense is the biggest concern. I mean, they put up 30 points, so it looks good. But I mean, if you watch this game and look at it, offense kind of got beat a lot. I mean, the offense only scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, you see Alex Smith finish with 220 yards, and then a total of for rushing yards, their best rusher was 64 yards. So the Broncos, I think, really held the Chiefs' offense in check. It was just, I mean, you saw the Chiefs had a safety, then on the kick or the punt from the safety, Tyreek Hill runs that back, so there's 9 points right there outside the offense. And then you have the 2 touchdowns, and then you have the 2 field goals in overtime. So for the most part, Broncos won the battle against the Chiefs' offense. It was just all the extra stuff that the Chiefs won to win this game. Like Chiefs won special teams, and then the Chiefs' defense, obviously. I mean, as close to the Broncos as you can get with defense in this game. I mean, I think Broncos defense is better, but I mean, and then the big thing in this game was Tyreek Hill. You saw 52 yards. He had a rushing, passing, and kick return touchdown. So he was the MVP in this game. Him and Houston, I think, were the 2 big pieces for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean Tyreek Hill coming around, rookie year. So I mean, honestly, he could be a pretty good player for them next couple of years if he can stay this versatile and do it all. And clearly he did it all this game. So I mean, if he can make plays like this, then I mean, Chiefs offense could be good. But I just don't see him scoring a touchdown 3 different ways every game. So
I don't know. I mean, I still think the record shows. I think they're one of the better teams in the NFL, especially in the AFC. I mean, in the AFC, you have the Patriots and Raiders, and then, I think Chiefs are better than the Raiders, honest. I mean, Raiders are playing well right now. You saw head-to-head, Chiefs won. I still pick the Chiefs. still think the Chiefs are going to end up winning that division when it all comes to an end. So I still say Chiefs Chiefs are definitely top 3 in the AFC, probably top 5 in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they've played great all year. It just matters, comes down to Alex Smith, because, I mean, Alex Smith clearly not, a big-name guy. He's not going to get you a lot of passing yards, not going to get you a lot of touchdowns, but, I mean, he's a fantastic game manager, so, I mean, he fits the system perfectly, I feel like, with Andy Reid, and, I mean, they're just, making a lot of plays whenever they need to. I mean, it also really helps having Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce out there.
Travis Kelce came up huge in this game. You saw them use him late in that game, and they just kept going at him, and he kept getting the big yardage at the end.
I mean, having a really good tight end like that, a linebacker's probably going to cover them whenever they come off the line of scrimmage, or a small cornerback, and I mean they're always going to have the advantage on that with the speed on linebacker and then size on the corner. So, I mean that was obviously pretty big. This game had 101 receiving yards on 8 catches, so I mean it was pretty good for them to see him do that well. So, and I mean I think the Broncos right now they're one game out of the wild card. I mean, Dolphins just passed them up. Dolphins surprisingly 7-4. Surprised a lot of people this year after struggling to start out. They've won, I think, 5 in a row now or something like that. And so, I mean, do you see the Dolphins making the playoffs over the Broncos?
I would say yes, just because of the Broncos' schedule. I think honestly, if you compare talent-wise, the Broncos are the better team. But just due to the games that are left, like Jaguars will be a win, Titans will be a win. Then you have the Patriots, which prediction-wise, I'd say Patriots win that game. Then Chiefs again in Kansas City. I'm going to pick Kansas City in that. And then you have a game against the Raiders, another division game that can go either way. See how the division's shaping up. If it's Oakland against Kansas City, Oakland's going to need that game. You could see Oakland winning that one in Denver. So, I mean, just because of scheduling-wise, I mean, that's potentially 3 losses right there. That puts Denver at 7 losses. I mean, I think most likely Denver finishes 10-6. They could probably win one of the Chiefs or Raiders game. And then looking at the Dolphins, they have the Ravens, Cardinals, Jets, Bills, and Patriots. So Patriots probably a loss. And then outside of that, all the other games are winnable. So due to scheduling, yes, I could see the Dolphins making it over the Broncos.
That'd be pretty crazy to see, honestly, seeing the Dolphins make the playoffs after. I mean, they struggled the past few years, and I mean, ever since J.J. became the featured back, they've been having a lot of success, and I think that's why they're poised to make the playoffs. I mean, 6 in a row, so it is not 5. So I mean, they've played some pretty good teams, a couple ones. Steelers, really good win, 30-15. Chargers, 31-24. I mean, Bills have played, well this year, 28-25. So I mean, all the games have been, pretty close for the most part. They just, make plays whenever they need to, and I mean. 7-4 right now. I mean, they could make the playoffs, which is very surprising to see.
Yeah, especially like you said, the struggling start. They started 1-4. You're hearing everything about the coaching. You're hearing is Tannehill going to be a bust.
Yeah.
And then I mean, they get their act together. I mean, and even some of the games they lost were close ones. Seahawks they only lost by 2. Patriots by 7. And then that Bengals was by 15, and Titans were 13. So, I mean, there's games that honestly, they're playing the way they did now. They probably would have beat the Titans. Probably could have beat Cincinnati with the way they're struggling. So, I mean, this team is probably better than what we thought. I think a big thing is the defense also starting to step up for them.
Yeah.
I mean, the points might not show it all the time, but you saw it in the 49ers game. The defense needed to stop. Kaepernick was about to score, and they just all came together. I mean, had that big stop to clinch the victory.
Yeah. So, yeah, and also whenever they got, Ndamukong Suh, they were expected to be one of the top defenses in the league with him and Cameron Wake out there, and I mean they've struggled the first 2.5 years, but now they're really starting to work together. Getting the quarterback, causing pressure. I mean, looking at now they're 7-4. Defense has played a pretty big role in that. So I mean, honestly, watch out for them. I mean, they can make the playoffs, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they can beat a team like the Patriots or the Raiders in the first round, assuming those are the 2 top seeds. Or I guess it'd be the Ravens and Texans as of right now if it ended.
Which I could see them winning.
Yeah, I could too, unless honestly, I think the Steelers will get in there besides the Ravens, because I just think they're overall a better team, and we'll win that head-to-head coming up soon. But other than that, I could see them beating the Texans. Texans are very up and down. You don't know what's gonna happen with them. So you just never know at this point. But But I mean, looking off it or judging off what I've seen, I mean, I could see them playing even either the Steelers or the Texans first round, which I don't think they'll beat the Steelers, but I think that they can beat the Texans.
I mean, that's a whole nother discussion. Texans could even fall out of their division.
Yeah.
Honestly, that division's so close. You have Texans 6-5, Titans 6-6. There's a half game right there. Colts 5-6. It's only a game. And then you have the bottom feeders. The Jaguars are 2-9. But I mean, just right there, that division's wide open between the top three teams, and it's going to come down to head-to-head division games. So, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see, too. It's going to be interesting the way these playoffs shape out to be.
Yeah, I mean, because all divisions are, relatively close. I mean, even the NFC East is close. The Giants are only 2 games behind the Cowboys right now, and so I mean, all divisions are, pretty close right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only division that I would say is locked up right now is probably the NFC West, just because I don't see the talent from the other teams to catch up to the Seahawks. And then, I mean, I would say the Cowboys are a heavy favorite right now, but just because of the amount of division games that are still left, and the Giants only being 2 games out, there'll be room for Giants-Cowboys go head-to-head. So there's 1 game right there. I mean, then anything can happen between the Eagles and Cowboys. Who knows? I mean, obviously the Cowboys are the better team over the Eagles right now, but I mean, division game, that big rivalry, I mean, anything can happen. So that's why I wouldn't consider the Cowboys a lock for the division yet. But looking at it, I would say the only division that's really locked up is the NFC West. And then, I mean, it's 2 games because of the Patriots' talent level. Probably the Patriots over the Dolphins.
Yeah. So I think we're going to move on to Monday Night Football game. Packers at the Eagles. I mean, Packers won this game 27-13. Devontae Adams had a great game, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I mean, just looked, pretty good. I mean, the Packers team that we're used to seeing having a lot of success. Aaron Rodgers making a lot of plays. I mean, obviously, Eagles struggled this game. Struggled to get anything passing the ball. But Packers just, outplayed the Eagles this game, I would say. Aaron Rodgers was his usual self. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Just made plays whenever he needed to.
I mean, my thing with this game is, being an Eagles fan, honestly, we end up losing by 14. But this was a winnable game. You're down 4 at halftime. To me, another big thing, I think I've said it every single week of the season. It comes down to penalties, and you saw it again with the Eagles. They're just not a disciplined team. I mean, another game changer in this one was you finally stopped the Packers' offense, and then all of a sudden, Fletcher Cox gets called for a roughing the passer call, gives the Packers a first down. They milk a lot more clock down, and then, they score a touchdown. I read it's the 3rd time Fletcher Cox has done that, where they got a key stop in that situation where it was a 1-possession game. They got a stop, he has a roughing the passer, and it leads to a touchdown. So it's the 3rd time this season that's happened that it's led to a touchdown and led to a loss. So I think that was a big thing. The passing game didn't concern me as much this game, just because I didn't see. There's drop passes still, but not nearly as many as previous weeks. They finally got Green Beckham involved with 82 yards. And then Matthews left the game with an injury in the first half, which was key. Matthews was actually having a good game to start the game, and he just went out with an injury. And it was also a big blow was Brandon Brooks being hospitalized before the game with that sickness. So you're losing Lane Johnson, Vaitai, and Brooks all in this game. So offensive line's beat up at that point. And then you saw the struggles of the offensive line all over.
Yeah, and also, they got no pressure on Aaron Rodgers. No sacks this game. Eagles are known for their defense. They just got, pretty much no pressure on Aaron Rodgers all game, it seemed like. And that obviously hurt him in this one. Carson Wentz was sacked 4 times this game. And so, that was obviously pretty big. He had the 1 rushing touchdown. That was in, I think it was 6-yard line or something like that in the first half. So, that was pretty big. But, other than that, Carson Wentz really struggled this game. He just. We've said it. We said all the season he just needs help right now. They don't have much of a run game. They don't have much, really good standout receivers at this point. And And just same thing every week for them. Penalties and the lack of talent on the wide receiving core.
Yeah, I mean this is a big loss as far as the season goes, but I mean just going to the Packers real quick. Aaron Rodgers looked really good in this game, back to close to his old self. I mean that one touchdown to Devontae Adams. I mean defense. I mean the cornerback. I can't remember who was covering him at the time. Was all over him. I mean his hands are right there. Rodgers just dropped that perfectly in the back of the end zone. I don't think there's much other things you could have done as a defender in that situation. I mean, I thought it was well played, and then it was the better throw than the defense was all. But it was going in, you knew it was going to be a dangerous offense. It was just I was disappointed with the 13 points. Packers gave up 27 a game, which was third or fourth worst in the league. So I expected more from the offense. I mean, just going forward. I mean, to me, it starts with the penalties. Honestly, you got to limit the penalties.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, it's been a pretty big challenge for them all years to cut down on those penalties, and clearly cost them this game. Didn't really help out Carson Wentz all that much, getting all those penalties, and that was obviously pretty key in the game. But they just need help, running the ball. I mean, they don't have much of a run game this year. Their leading runner was Wendell Small with 37 yards, and I just feel like they need Matthews right now. I feel like he's better than Small at this point. He's more of a runner. Sproul's more of a passing back or a receiving back. I just feel like they're gonna need him back for that added depth.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a big thing is missing the offensive line problems. So that is a key issue. And then, I think Smallwood has potential. It's just you need a healthy offensive line back. But I do agree Matthews is better. It just didn't help that Smallwood didn't have anybody to block for him in this game. But going forward, like we've been talking about, as far as playoffs, both these teams sit at 5 and 6 now, and then both sit. I guess it's a game and a half behind the Redskins for the wild card spot, the last wild card spot. And I think both teams are in trouble as far as that goes. You got to climb over the Saints, Vikings, and Buccaneers, and then the Redskins. I think probably Buccaneers, go back to them. Buccaneers probably the best chance. As anything going as ties, the Eagles went over the Vikings, and tiebreaker Packers now went over the Eagles. But I don't know. I think this season changed for the Eagles once Lane Johnson's suspension kicked in, because honestly, that's when this whole season started going downhill.
Yeah, losing a key offensive lineman like that is really going to hurt an offense. And like you said, it's ever since then it's kind of been a turning point of the Eagles season. I don't remember exactly when. I think it might have been before the Cowboys game, right? Was it the week before that?
I think it was 2 weeks before that. I think it was either the Vikings game or right after we beat the Vikings.
Okay, well, going off that, the suspension clearly, hurt him. Because, ever since then, they haven't really been the same. Start off 4 now? 3 now?
We're 3-0, and then we dropped like 6 of our last 8.
Yeah, and like what you just said, 6 out of last 8. That's really killer, and I think that you're seeing the rookie mistakes from Carson Wentz. Having lack of good offensive line. I wouldn't say his true colors, but I would say his rookie colors are showing right now, just because he has made some mistakes with the lack of time, lack of help on the offense. It's killing his season, I would say. He's still a good rookie quarterback. He's still solid. Him and Dak, obviously, 2 best quarterbacks so far in the draft. Carson Wentz is going to be a very good player. I think that is the talent too. It's just a matter of getting him help, like what we said all year with the running and the passing, and even the offensive line.
Yeah, it's just the way the season has gone. You start off that successful. Wentz looks good. I think the beginning of the season shows the true Wentz once he has pieces. When he had the time, when he had Lane Johnson, he had time to throw the ball. Wentz looked really good. He was right up there in Rookie of the Year conversations. And like we said, when Johnson went down, the whole thing just changed. He looks like a different quarterback. Obviously, he's being rushed a lot more. So I mean, we'll see going forward, but
Yeah. Honestly, I could see the Packers in the playoffs. Yeah, they've come over right now the Vikings and beat the Lions 5 weeks left. They have the talent too. I just don't know if they can. They still have Houston in the upcoming week. I think they can win that game. And then they have Seattle, probably difficult. They have Chicago, then Minnesota, and then Detroit. Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult. But if they were to do it, I would not be surprised, just because Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback, and he's gonna find a way to win.
I think for the Packers or the Eagles to make the playoffs, they both have to win out.
Yeah, but it's gonna be very difficult.
The only thing that helps the Packers is Packers division's still winnable. As far as the Eagles go, they're not winning the division, being 5 games out with 5 left. That's a straight up miracle for that to happen.
Yeah.
Giants and the Cowboys and the Redskins are basically have to lose out the season. So Packers could still win their division. They're only a game out, I believe, behind the Lions. So
I think they're 2. They're 5 and 6. The Lions are 7.
Okay, so they're 2 games back. We just said they've had that matchup with the Lions, so there's 1 game right there. You obviously got to take that, and then just grab another game. So I think honestly the Packers would be more likely to win the division than they are to win the wild card.
No, yeah, I would have to agree. Just because 7-4. Odds are that whoever gets wild card is gonna have at least 9 wins. Actually, no. I guess the Giants are now. Assuming they hold on to it, or assuming they keep doing what they're doing, they could win 11 games. They've had a lot of success all year.
Really, if the Cowboys and the Giants I'm not saying they are, but were to win out, you'd have the Giants be 13-3.
Yeah, for wild card, probably the highest or the best record for wild card team of all time.
Which honestly, that's the way it's going to be in the AFC too, with the Raiders and Chiefs.
Yeah.
You have those teams. It's like, and that was the other thing. Like, even if say the Broncos or Dolphins, they get 11, 12 wins. You're gonna have 2 wildcard teams with both wildcard teams above 10 wins. I don't know when the last time that happened.
That's pretty impressive. It's just been a lot of great talent this year. I feel like came out. It's just been great for the NFL to have so many good teams. I think, and not just couple solid teams, like every year, the Patriots can be good, or the Broncos, Seahawks. It's really good to see other teams do good that have not done good in a while. I would say the Cowboys, but in 2014 they were pretty good. But the Dolphins, the Giants,
Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders. They've struggled, for a while now. Now look at them. It's just been a pretty fun season, I think, so far for the NFL.
Oh yeah, I think absolutely it's really good. You don't see all these division games, all these divisions coming down to the wire like this, and they are today or this year. So I think, like you said, it's great for the NFL, great for the viewership. It keeps everyone more interested. So just going forward, that's the way it is.
Yeah. I think that we are going to move on to our Week 13 picks. Thursday night, you have the Cowboys at the Vikings. I'm going to roll with the Cowboys in this one. Vikings are just lost to the Lions. They're struggling. Sam Bradford is, I think it's up in there if he's going to play or not. So, I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one. I just can't pick against them at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Cowboys as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings were to win this game, but like you said, Bradford has health issues, and the way the Cowboys are playing, it's hard to pick against them.
And then you got the Chiefs at the Falcons on Sunday. This is going to be a really good game, I think. Very good defense versus very good offense. Falcons are the home team. I'm going to have to take the Chiefs in this one. I think their defense plays good this game, and I think that they win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. I think they're, especially against the weaker Falcons defense, they definitely have the running game to do well, and the defense beats the Falcons defense, and you're going to see it in this game, and Chiefs win this one.
I think it's going to be another good game. Lions at the Saints, both very explosive offenses. This one's a tough one. I think I'm going to take the Saints in this one. I think their offense is just a bit more explosive than the Lions, and I think that plays a factor in this one.
I'll take the Lions in this game on the road. I think defenses are similar. Saints are the home team, but I think Lions can outscore the Saints in a shootout. especially with the Lions having the division on the line there, have the division lead, and they were going to want to hold that. And I think they steal this game.
Next one, you got the Rams and the Patriots. This one's an obvious one. I think Patriots win this one.
Yeah, New England wins this one fairly easily, probably.
And then another one I think will be very easy win. Broncos at the Jaguars. Broncos, Jaguars have just struggled all year long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick the Broncos, too. I feel bad for Blake Bortles. I think he's better than what the record shows. It's just a matter of getting him help.
Then you're going to have the Texans at the Packers. I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I think Aaron Rodgers continues to play well.
I'm going to take Green Bay as well. I think Houston's struggling big time right now. A couple areas of the game they're struggling in, and Aaron Rodgers will be allowed to play the Texans.
And the next one, you have the Eagles at the Bengals. I'm assuming you pick the Eagles in this one.
Honestly, I'm going to take Cincinnati in this game. I don't like the way the Eagles are playing right now. And even before this game, even before the Packers game, I think the way it's going to go is both teams are struggling. They're pretty much even. I think maybe the Eagles are a half game better because Cincinnati has a tie. But it's a road game. The Eagles are 1-5 on the road. They look like a completely different team on the road. Yes, all the pressure's on the Eagles because, like we said before, they basically have to win out to make the playoffs. But just the way they're playing, I don't think they have what it takes right now.
I'm actually going to take the Eagles in this one. Bengals are they have a lot of injured now. A.J. Green, Giovanni Bernard. That takes away two weapons for them. And Eagles already have a pretty good defense. Not even go against A.J. Green and worry about Giovanni Bernard out of the backfield. I think the Eagles find a way to win this one because Bengals defense hasn't been great all year either. So I think that the Eagles win a close game here in this one.
I hope you're right.
I don't think they're gonna catch the Cowboys, so go for it. Next we got the Dolphins at the Ravens. I think this one is also going to be a pretty good game. Dolphins look really good lately. I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I think this one on the road. I think that they played well. I think that they have the ability to win their 7th game in a row. But it's not going to come easy against a pretty good defense.
Like you said, it's a tough game. I think I'm gonna go with the Ravens because of being home. I think that's gonna help, and then Ravens have a great defense that they've been playing all year, and I think if they shut down the Dolphins team, I think they can beat the Dolphins defense.
Here comes the battle of two very bad teams. I would say the 49ers at the Bears. Matt Barkley looks pretty good, and you see him. I think like 3 touchdowns past weekend. But I don't. That really doesn't matter. I think that the 49ers win. I don't care what everyone says. Colin Kaepernick has played great whenever he's played this year. He's made a lot of great plays for him. They're 1-10, obviously. Just other parts around him. I'm gonna take the 49ers in this one. I just like what I'm seeing from them. Even though they are 1-10, but I don't know. I just like Colin Kaepernick to pick apart the Bears defense.
I'm gonna take the Bears in this game because, like you said, Colin Kaepernick is good. So he has the ability to tear apart that defense. But because the 49ers are 1-10, so do they really want to win this game and get a worse draft pick at this point, especially with
neither team wants to win this game if that's the case.
Exactly, but Bears are home. Bears have Jordan Howard. 49ers don't have a defense as we see every week, so I think Jordan Howard goes off this game.
Next one, you have the Bills at the Raiders. I'm gonna take the Raiders in this one. I just like a lot what I'm seeing from them. But the Bills won. I'm not be that surprised just because Sean McCoy is a fantastic running back still, and they still have they just got Sam Watkins back, so that's gonna help them out also. But I'm still have to take the Raiders in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Oakland as well. They're just playing too well right now. Defense is stepping up big at certain parts of the game, and then I think Carr's a dark horse for the MVP this year. I think he's playing that well this year, and he continues that success.
Next one, you got Giants versus the Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers in this one. I think that they have a really good offense, really good explosive offense, and I think the Giants lose this one to the Steelers.
I'll take Pittsburgh as well in this game. I don't see the Giants' defense all that good. I think at some points they've shown some signs of being good, but overall, I think Steelers' offense can torch that defense.
I think this game can also be pretty good. The Redskins at the Cardinals. I mean, it's going to be a big factor if Jordan Reed plays or not. But, I mean, judging off what I've seen from the Cardinals, I don't think that Jordan Reed is going to make a very big impact. So I think I'm going to take the Redskins just because the Cardinals defense has struggled all year. Or, not all year. They just, struggled to, limit the amount of points that they've given up. So, I'm going to take the Redskins this one. I think their offense is really explosive.
I think these are two similar teams. I think both offenses have capability of going off. Defenses are top of the league. Both have good corners, Norman and Peterson and Patterson. But I think I'm going to have to give the edge to the Redskins just because of how much the Cardinals have struggled.
Next one, Buccaneers at the Chargers. I'm taking the Bucs in this one. I like what I'm seeing from them. They just beat a very good Seattle team. I think that they continue their success against the Chargers.
I'm going to take San Diego this game in San Diego. Tampa Bay's got to travel to the West Coast. I think Rivers outplays Winston. And then both teams coming off big wins for themselves. So I think Chargers find a way.
And the next game would have been, a marquee matchup. But a lot has happened between then. The Panthers at the Seahawks had the potential to be one of the better games of the year. But I mean, Panthers have struggled all year. Seahawks have been pretty good. So I mean, I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks as well. They're coming off that loss that everyone knows. The whole team knows they probably should have won that game, and they're going to come out with a lot of vengeance.
And then for Monday night to close this out, you got the Colts at the Jets. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that, Luck is still up in there if he's going to play. I don't like what I'm seeing from Ryan Fitzpatrick, so I'm just have to go with the Colts in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Colts as well, whether Luck plays or not. I think they can outplay the Jets team, who has struggled all year, and I think will continue to struggle in this game. I just can't see the Jets winning this game.
All right, so that's going to do it for the A&A show. I'm Austin Paul.
And I'm Andrew Santangelo.
Thank you guys for listening. Check back next week and we break down Week 13.